Hello, and welcome to episode 155 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa, and I'm joined, as always, by Matty Figuera.
Me.
In a t-shirt.
In a t-shirt. It's actually quite warm today. I mean, this week has been... It's the pre-spring indication.
I mean, I'm nodding along, but I've got a vest, and I've got it's a thin... it's one of those... You get those knitted jerseys, and they look chunky and warm, but if a small breeze comes, it just cuts right through you, like a spirit is coming right through you.
Nice,
so
but
they're more style than function.
Yeah, you can only wear those jerseys like 1 week in a year or 2 weeks in a year.
No,
in between the seasons, that's it.
They're the perfect jerseys for like a chilly spring evening.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I'm warm. But if you go out at winter thinking this will save you, nah, fam.
It's gotta be safe, man.
Yeah, but might as well just wear like a plastic bag. That will keep you more protected.
I'm always surprised though by the weather because it never feels like a gradual shift, like between both seasons. Even with going into autumn/winter, it's summer, it's hot, cold front. Then you're in winter.
Yep.
But this is weird because it's not like a heat wave, but it feels like this week is just it's spring. It's not that cold. Even in the evenings, like it's a little bit chilly, but it's not that
this
bad.
week's been super pleasant. I've actually even like opened my window in the office that we have here because we kept
living life on the edge.
The only problem with that is because you haven't been to my place yet because COVID and whatever. But we are off like a very main road.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always lots of cars going up and down. And I've noticed that just because of that, if we keep windows open, the amount of dust that comes in, because obviously the cars are currently like circulating it in the air. It's crazy. Like I thought there used to be dust in my old room where we used to record the podcast. I used to bitch about it all the time. This is on another level.
It's goodness.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah. I have to hide my keyboard. Otherwise in the morning, it's just dust.
Hectic. Yeah, but I do think we'll have one final cold front before we go into actual spring.
August always has that sneaky cold, or even beginning of September, and you're just like, oh shit, it's cold, and then it's fun.
Yeah, there's always also this month. It's in Joburg. It gets super windy. It's super dry. It gets super hot, and then I just sneeze, and it's a real shit time all around.
It's until that first rain hits, like. I'm already feeling that dryness. Like the pollen is all around. I've got them sniffles all the time, and I just need the rain to come now.
Yeah, please rain.
Oh, that first thunderstorm is so good though. It's like
I just realized I was on the wrong scene.
Oh,
you saw
fine.
nothing.
We're on the wrong scene for the beginning. It's okay. I actually didn't notice.
Yeah, I was busy in my mind thinking like when we talk about our first game, I've got footage. Maybe I should just overlay it. And I was distracted. And I was like, hang on. You guys saw nothing.
We're starting with news now? What's going on
Games
here?
out this week. Wow. Yeah, my bad.
It's all good. I mean, we started a bit late this morning because I overslept. And
it's all good because I also struggled to get out of bed.
When I saw no messages from you at Hopper State, I was like, I wonder if Matthew's awake. Like,
you're like, I wonder if he's awake. I'm just gonna go back to bed for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
because maybe he's also sleeping.
That's essentially what happened. Yeah. And I didn't have Shani with me to be like, hey, you're gonna be late. So
that's so funny because even late's because like it's 8:30. I'm like, don't worry. Alessandro told me he overslept. We're all good. It's fine.
Alessandro's always late anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I've always had like a 10-15 minute buffer at least, so don't worry. It's fine.
Of course, yeah. And what's funny is that when Shani says the same to me, I'm like, oh, Matthew's pretty late usually, so it's fine. So we've kind of just like compensated for each other.
Yeah, we're just late all the time. It's fine.
It's that paradox of like, people who are like, you should always have a watch that's like 15 minutes fast. And it's like, but if you're aware of that, then it
doesn't matter.
Time for it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like,
you always have the little safety net. I have
15
15 minutes to sleep in.
Yeah, I can't mentally be like, oh, I'm late. Oh, right, my watch is 15 minutes fast. I'll just like every time I look at it, I'll just add 15 minutes.
The only way it'll work is if Shiny or someone does it to all the clocks you have access to.
But as soon as you realize it once, that's it. The facade is gone.
No. Then she'll be like, oh, you caught me. You set everything back to normal. Then she does it again. when you least expect it. And that's
or
her life.
Or she sets it forward by random intervals. So is it 10 minutes? Is it 5 minutes?
God.
Is it 50 minutes? Who knows?
You just have to be on time regardless.
Or wake up at midnight and the clock is like, it's 6 a.m. And you're like, no.
What's going on? Shit. 6
Good
hours.
Lord.
That's a long time.
Well, I mean, if that doesn't get you out of bed on time, then really nothing will, I think.
This is true. You know.
I'm appreciating that it is getting lighter in the morning. So it's...
Yeah, see, I appreciate it, but I also, at the same time, do not, because our room... We have windows above our bed that do not have blinds, so means in summer that our room is real bright very early.
Oh no!
Yeah, I just end up putting a pillow over my head. It's great.
Do you know it is like really healthy to wake up like that though? Yeah. There's I've seen some amazing products on Amazon for, like, they call them, I don't know if they call them sunlights or something like that. So essentially, you're living in an apartment in a metropolis. The odds of you having a like sun-facing window pretty low. So people buy these like lamps that replicate the sun, like going from darkness to like a warm glow, so that their brains wake up naturally like that instead of an alarm.
My goodness.
Yeah, because apparently you're meant to wake up like over a half an hour interval, not like immediately.
This explains why I snooze my alarm clock over half an hour.
Exactly. The light is meant to gradually bring you, like, it starts waking up your brain slowly until you like awake. You know what I mean?
Well, that's no fun. The real way to wake up is to jolt yourself awake in panic because of your alarm and then snooze it every 5 minutes. You know?
It drives Shani insane because she can't fall asleep once she's awake. Me, no problem.
Lenska's the same, but I've learned now. So if we're getting up to do something and she's stepping in, that alarm will beep like once, and I've already snoozed it. I'm like,
I got you. Then
I'll ask her, like, did you hear my alarm? No, not at all. I'm like, good.
Nailed it.
That was quick.
But I'm sure you're the same. Like, I can wake up and genuinely have like a 15-20 minute conversation with Shani and then go back to sleep. Without issue.
There are times when I wake up, so like say I wake up needing the loo, like 6 a.m, wake up, go use the loo, feed the cats, climb into bed. I'm like, damn, I'm wide awake. This is so annoying. Like, I really wish. And then I wake up at an hour later. I'm like, oh, I fell asleep. How did this happen?
It's so good. I think it's one of the best feelings. Like you said, you get up for like a brief 5 minutes and you get back into bed and you're able to fall asleep. Like,
I used to. This is a long time ago. I used to wake up on purpose early, eat breakfast, and then go back to bed. Like,
that is crazy.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
I look back at past me. I'm like, why? Why did you do that?
Why did you wake up on purpose just to eat breakfast?
But it was more the thing of like, I tricked my brain into going like, we're awake now. We're going to eat breakfast, but I get to go back to bed for another hour after this.
That is such a bizarre.
Past me was very dumb.
You basically given like your body fuel and then like, no, get back into bed. No.
We're going to store this fuel as fat now while we sleep for the next hour. Yeah, clearly.
It's like, I'm trying to digest you and you just like, no. That's
I don't
strange.
know. That's
I'm really
that's
sorry.
old.
That's
old
real
me,
strange.
My God.
Like, I get the getting up and feeding animals and stuff, but like eating, I think once I've eaten, like that's it.
I know. I used to love it. It's always the thrill of, I can go back to bed and I'll sleep and then wake up and just start my day. I don't have to worry about anything.
That's so bizarre. That's so weird.
Don't come at me with your...
I mean, I think the only thing weirder than that would be like getting up and showering and then going back to bed.
No. Well, no, I haven't done that before you go like, oh no, he's done it. Because I
was waiting for a story like where you had.
There have been times in the past, because I only start work at 9:30. So it's great because you get to do a lot of stuff in your morning. But
well, officially 9:30. I mean, you have to say 9:30 on a public podcast.
There have been times where I've gotten up early to run, say like in summer, if it's, it gets light early, I wake up and I'm like, it's 6, I'm going to go run. So like go run, come home, shower. I'm like, it's only 7:30. I can go back to bed.
No.
Like an hour or two. And I've done it a few times and it's great.
No. And that's even worse. You haven't even showered. You're getting back into bed all sweaty.
No, I shower, then I climb into bed.
Oh, fuck. No. What? You've done like the two things that wake you up the most: exercise and a shower, and then you
yeah,
go
but I
back
get
to bed.
sleepy. I get sleepy after a run. I've got to go back to bed.
But the runs give you all those endorphins. You should be like fucking hyped.
Yeah, I'm
afterwards.
hyped in my shower. I'm like, yeah. Then I get out and I'm like, I'm tired. I've got like an hour and a half. I'm gonna go back to bed.
That's the shortest endorphin spike ever. Yes, after a run, I've got energy for the whole day until I need an afternoon nap.
There are times when I wake up early and I'm like, I'm not going to survive. I need to go back to bed. Got to get that extra nap.
You listen to your body. You listen to your body.
Exactly. My body says
important.
I need sleep, and I say I will oblige. Your wish is my command.
I'm very keen for tomorrow, or I guess when you're listening to this, yesterday. Doing that 21-kilometer run for the first time in a long time.
You'll be fine. Let's take it slow.
They're always fun. I love doing one and then seeing on like Strava later. It's like you burned 2,000 calories. It's like
and then you're like
pizza today.
Yeah. Then you go and you get McDonald's. Like I earned this. This is how exercise
I
works.
fucking earn this.
Yeah,
it is. I burned 2,000. I get to eat another 2,000. It's all about balance, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've took out 2,000. I have to put it back in. Come on.
I have noticed in recent times, though, which shouldn't be at all surprising, but if I have a garbage dinner the day before, like a long run, like if I have McDonald's the night before, that run the next day is crap.
Your body needs that feel.
Shit. Yeah, it's just like a K in. It's like I have nothing left. Like I've burned all that shit.
Why have you done
this
yesterday?
To me? Yeah.
So now
I'm gonna feast on a good bowl of pasta.
You booked that run, but are you doing it where you've chosen a time slot? You're going to start at the venue. Okay, what time are you starting?
7. I
wow.
wanted to start early.
Oh, this man starting at 7.
The heat, man. I mean, it's already hot now, and I mean, I would hope I'd be done by now. But yeah, I don't want to get caught in that heat. That just kills.
I'm curious to hear how many people do it. Like, because for those of you who don't know, so Discovery do this Vitality series every year where there's 4 runs around Joburg, like going into spring. And what they've done this year is that you can just do a virtual run, which is you literally do your own 21K. But what they've done is like a middle ground is you can run the official route of the first race, but you have to choose a time slot. There's not going to be any marshals or actual allocation, but you just know the route and you go do it.
Which makes it a bit more challenging because the marshals, I mean, I know the route. So
make sure you do a 21, not a 25.
Well, yeah, that because if I get lost, that will be a problem. But I'm glad that I know the route because I know where the traffic issues are. And there will be instances where you have to stop, and that's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. It's a nice middle ground, like you said. Because they can't do races yet. I'm sure by this time next year we'll be back to races. Hopefully. Hopefully.
I miss them, man. It's always fun.
It's always fun when it's a big group, and it really, when you always have people around you that are running as well, it motivates you. Running alone is very difficult.
You look at each other at 7 in the morning, you go, we're crazy, but it's cool.
Yeah, legitimately. I do love getting to like the 15, 16K mark, and you pass someone and they're like, why did I do this? And you just have like a little laugh. And
the second Soweto marathon I did, so when you finish, you run through that tunnel onto the field at Soccer City. I remember running alongside a dude. He's like, I can't believe we did it. We made it. I was like, me too. And then I left him behind me. I just went.
Wow. In your dust. Wow.
Like, eat my dust.
You're like, we didn't make it. I made it. Fuck
I made it. You only made it if you first.
Did you do the 42?
Yeah, I've done.
Jesus.
Yeah,
no,
I did. I've only done it twice. I mean, it's weird because I've missed it a few years now so last year obviously missed it. This year, I don't think it's happening. Year before last we had a surprise birthday for my sister. So I went to Cape Town over that weekend. So I also missed it.
I do recall that, yeah.
It's been a long time.
The Soweto 42 isn't like laps, is it?
No.
It's just a straight 42.
It's a tough 42, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done the 21, and that was tough. Like that really got to me. The heat, the hills. That was a hard 21.
And I'll do it again.
And the event shirt shredded my nipples raw. It was bad. I don't know,
worse
man.
than shredded nipples in a run.
That material was so rough. I swear to God, got in the car with Shani because Shani did the 10. And I took off my shirt and I was just bleeding. It was blood everywhere. And I was just like, I'm in so much pain right now.
She looks at you, she's like, wow, you ran so hard, even your nipples are bleeding.
Yeah, they're crying. They're crying tears of blood.
Why?
She saw Cyril Ramaphosa there running their 10K.
Oh, wow.
With his security detail. Just quite
sure.
Quite
yeah,
cool.
That was a long time ago.
That was a lot. Yeah, I've only done it once. It was a long. It was a great run though. I thoroughly enjoyed finishing in Soccer City and the whole vibe. It was a good time. I'll do it again.
Even me.
But it was tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Let's check my chat. Talk about marathons, weather, and video games.
All of the things.
Yeah, I mean, you were on leave this week, so you played.
I played so much stuff, which I'm not going to go into detail with, but I will.
Do you want to just take us through highlights?
I'll quickly, I'll recap. Let me just write a little note here. Stuff I played.
Matthew Figs, gaming highlights.
And a timestamp. Yo, look at this, 16 minutes. That's probably one of the longest intros we've done.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the time. My bad.
No, it's all good. So I played. I was off this week, so I dug into a whole lot of games that have just been staring at me. So I've binged Maneater, a game where the whole premise is it's Jaws, the game, except
you don't play as Nelly Furtado?
No, shit, that would be an alternate universe. There's an Nelly Furtado game, but for all intents and purposes, Maneater is Jaws, the game, except you are the shark, and it's your job to eat everything in sight. And it's the only way to explain it is that it's just junk food. It's like I played this game knowing like, man, this is mindless, but I can't stop playing it. It's just so much fun. I mean, you start out as a little baby shark, and you just evolve and get bigger and better, and you just eat bigger things, and it's just stupid fun. So yeah,
it's good. I like the faux nature documentary narration over it.
Yeah,
I think it's very hilarious.
I had a good laugh. So because like while you're playing, it's framed as they're making a documentary about this shark, or just sharks, I guess, and they're narrating as things happen. So there's one part in the game where I've obviously this game has like a GTA-esque system where you become like wanted, or you become a bounty, and boats come after you. So one instance, I'm busy fighting a whole lot of boats who are trying to murder me, and they're actually shooting at me and doing all sorts of things. And then the narrator's like, sharks only hunt humans when they're threatened. I'm like, yeah, I'm being shot at.
I feel like that's adequately threatened.
I feel slightly threatened. Like, this is justified.
I think my favorite part of that game is the ability to like, you can jump on land and kind of like flop to water on the other side, and I think it's so ridiculous.
It's funny because when you start out, you can't breathe out of water like for no more than 10 seconds, but as you get bigger, you can survive a lot longer. And there's even a perk or an evolution that lets you sort of like become a hybrid that where you can breathe on land a little bit longer. And the game actually leans into that, where there are certain collectibles along, say, a long bridge or something, and it's like, damn, this is so silly, but I can't stop playing it.
It's repetitive as hell, but it's a good time.
But that's exactly it. Like there were legitimately times when I was just mashing like my eat button. I'm like, I was just staring at the screen, and I'm like, this is just fun.
Yeah, it's junk food gaming at its best. It really is so fun.
But I mean,
it's short enough. It's like what you said, 8 hours.
It's 8 hours. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't do all the collectibles, but I think if you want 100% it'll take you like 10 to 12 hours.
And I think that game's not the type that, like, I think hunting for collectibles for another 5 hours would just infuriate me. Like,
no, but you say that, but a lot of people I know actually like platinumed it purely because like, well, I'm having so much fun. Like, why not? Even it is this week, if I'm not mistaken, or last week, Alana Pierce was also like, she went and she got 1,000 gamer score because she just loved the game so much. It just, it's weird because on paper, you're like, I'll get bored of this after a while. But because I tried it, so I was like, I'm going to play it for like an hour. And then I was just hooked.
You got it off PS Plus, wasn't it? It was
No.
free on PS Plus
So
wasn't
I've got the company's Xbox Series X.
Oh, is it on there?
So it is installed. I was like, oh, let me give it a try because I know Noel, one of my colleagues, enjoyed it, and Bertie, another of my colleagues, played it. He played it on PS Plus a while back, and he platinumed it. He was like, I did it in like a Saturday. I just had so much fun. So if you guys have
when
it,
do you have to give the Xbox hamster back?
Probably next week. It's like 2-3 week period.
You got it at a good time then when you were off. Like
no, it was just plan that way. I'm like, I'm on leave. Give it to me. I'll take it.
Are you enjoying the Xbox?
Well, it's weird because I mean I'm the demographic where I have a PC, so I'm kind of got access to everything anyway. But it's my first time actually using an Xbox, which is obviously helpful because I work on the Xbox account, so I can finally say I know how the UI works. I know how to navigate, although
or how it doesn't work.
That UI is, my God, it's quite something to get used to.
It's a lot better now. It's genuinely the best it's ever been.
Look, I know my way around it now, but there's a lot happening. My goodness.
It used to be so much worse. It used to be so much worse.
The one frustrating thing I found is because it's a company Xbox, it's got a company like gamer tag. But I have my own gamer tag from PC, so I've obviously synced up so I can, collect the game score and just synchronize across the platforms. Every time I played Maneater, like if I put the console off and I went back in, it like kicked me out saying your user was signed out, like sign back in. And I'm like, and the thing is, I can't unlink the main account because obviously it's not my Xbox. But there is
a way to get around that, like probably like in the settings.
I need to change it, but I was like, why?
That is quite annoying because then it will just close the game because it can't authenticate it.
Yeah, every time it like loaded the game, it's like, yeah, you're in the ocean, and it's like, nope, you're in the main menu. Yeah. So after Maneater, I dived into it. It's funny because I was looking for. I mean, I had the whole week off, but I wanted to play things that I knew I could finish relatively quickly. Mm-hmm. So one of our friends, Kervin, and also Noel, played a game called Raji. Is it an ancient epic? I think it's an...
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
And the name rang a bell because it was also nominated for Game Award last year.
I think it's developed by a team in India.
So I knew nothing about this game. I was purely going on like, okay, these dudes have played it. They said it's got some issues, but otherwise they really enjoyed it. And so it was nominated last year.
It was just a third hand in the camera there. I was very confused for a second.
Lenska's hands here. It's all good. She's like, what? So it was nominated for Best Debut Game, if I'm not mistaken, last year.
Oh, interesting.
Which makes sense, though, because it is rough around the edges. But like you said, it was developed by a studio in India. And
it's their first game as well.
Yeah, and it is a game that leans into like Indian... I don't know what's the right term. Is it mythology / history?
Yeah, I think it's like their mythology.
Yeah,
like you got your Norse mythology and your Greek mythology.
So it's just a story of you play as Raji, big surprise, whose brother's been taken by demons, and she's basically given a weapon by one of the gods, whose name is alluded. It's Duga, I think. And you just on this quest to save your brother from these demons. And yeah, look, when we say the game's rough around the edges, it's purely from the sense that the combat and platforming feels very clunky.
Is it?
It's like, it's just, if I were to compare it to something like, let's say Hades, for argument's sake, because that's like a benchmark for a good action game now, I'd say. Like when you think of Hades, the movement is very fluid. It's quick. It's snappy. Like when you push your button, your attacks there, you feel it connect. In Raji, there's something about it almost feels like there's a bit of an input delay. All the animation is just sluggish in comparison. And like that doesn't break the experience, but you can feel it's like, oh, this feels a little bit clunky.
Yeah, you can feel there's something not super right there.
And the same goes for the platforming. It I think it's got to do maybe with the animation. Like I don't know, it's just programmed that way that it doesn't feel very snappy. But I mean, that aside, I really enjoyed the game. It's like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
And
I know Noel compared it to the Sands of Time, Prince of Persia. Did
so
you get that
I've
vibe
never
from it?
played Sands of Time.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
For shame on me.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you're going to play
I
Prince of
know.
Persia, that's the one to play.
That's the one. But it's funny because I read up on the game after, and there was one paragraph in the wiki entry which said the developers were inspired by, the likes of Bastion and God of War and all these other games. I was like, yeah, I can completely see that. Like I had a real strong God of War vibe purely from the mythology points of view, where it's
Okay.
you're getting these mythical weapons that you've probably heard of, or and yeah, I think clunkiness aside, visually, like it's a beautiful game. I think as a debut game, the studio did very well. Like it's I can't really think what to compare it to, but it's very like it's cinematic in how it handles the camera. You don't control the camera at all. You're just moving left and right, or in a 3D space, and it's beautiful. Like they've really nailed the aesthetic. There are moments where the camera like pans out and it shows the scene ahead, and it's just they really nailed that. So
I think that's cool because like I at least personally I'm very unfamiliar with like that mythology. So
even me, it was
that is cool.
Yeah, and what's cool is that it's narrated by one of the gods and goddesses the whole time, and I think it's just a cool 4 to 5 hour game that I really enjoyed playing.
That's on Game
It's
Pass,
on Game Pass, yeah.
I need to give that a go, I think.
Yeah. I mean, give it like an hour or two and see if you enjoy it, but I mean, it's not long.
I mean, if it's 4 hours, it can be, I can forgive clunky whatever if it's not like a 30-hour thing that I have to deal with.
That last level looks like something out of Journey. Oh, that's one of the games I said inspired them as well. It's
absolutely
just
sold.
These gorgeous sands. You're like, this is visually appealing on my eyeballs. So
I like these lights hitting my eyes. They're good.
I played that, and then finally, before we dive into what we both played, I started Outer Wilds, which I'm sure you are thrilled to hear. But I will definitely talk more about that next week.
I kind of want to replay that because there's parts of the game that I don't remember. Because I reviewed it at a busy time. It was like in the middle of prepping for E3. So
I know you told me that Outer Wilds, and this applies to a lot of games where, it takes you like maybe a few hours for it to click. You've got to, but I must say, after say the first hour or two, I was really like, I've got not direction, but I've got this curiosity about, what's going on in this place or that place, or the game's very well designed. I mean, I'm getting to the weeds now, and we will talk about it next week because I want to talk about this game, and I'm sure I'll finish it by next weekend. And that'll be interesting because, like you've said, everything you mentioned about this game is like technically a spoiler.
Yeah.
So for like 1 minute, I'll just say that Outer Wilds starts you out where you wake up next to a campfire. You are I don't know what the correct term is.
Intrepid explorer.
You're an explorer who's about to launch into space, and your village of people are all very excited, and they, wow, it's your first day launching into space. And that's all I'll say. That's all the game gives you. And you very much figure out everything out for yourself, as you explore and talk to people. And it's designed so well. Like they give you just enough breadcrumbs to go, so this person mentioned this. I mustn't forget to, explore that or investigate that.
That's exactly it. They give you the right amount of like prods in the good direction.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it's difficult because it's like, I mean, when we talk about this next week or whenever, like I think we can label it a spoiler cast because like we'll really talk about how the game works and what it makes you do and stuff. But it really gives me like Breath of the Wild vibes purely from the point of like Breath of the Wild is the same thing of it just plonks you in there, gives you some direction, like, there's the castle, that's what you have to do. But how you get there is your own thing. But more from the point of in Breath of the Wild, you see a mountain, you go, oh shit, I want to go there, and you go there. This game's the same, like, oh, there's a planet, I want to go there, and there's just so much to like chip away at and figure out. So
and then on top of it, it's like can I go there now?
Can I go?
Or do I have to wait?
Interesting. Yeah.
When you start figuring out that how the whole small universe is defined by physical, like in real world time, it's mind blowing. It's a real. I think this game could have hit one way or the other. It could have been a hit or just like a really like that was a good experiment. But I think they nailed it. I'm very excited for whatever that DLC is. I mean, this isn't a spoiler because it's right at the beginning. But how cool is the in that museum? There's that room where it's like this rock only exists when you perceive it.
Oh yeah, and you look at it and look away and it disappears.
And it's a real it's a real quantum theory like ideal of, I think it's superposition. Like this is a legitimate thing that scientists are like dabbling with, and that element comes into play a lot. Like there's a moment that's not super important, but there's a forest that every time you look at it, the trees are in different positions. And it fucks with you. Yeah, it's really good.
My God. Really good. It's just a different kind of game that I'm very excited to keep playing. So
I really can't wait for you to get to that ending because wow. Even when you think you know what's going on.
You don't. Last thing I'll say about the game, I love that things are measured in like kilometers, but within reach. It's like that planet is 3 kilometers away. I'm like, no, it's not. But it takes you like 3 seconds to get there. So maybe it is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I like how condensed the universe feels. It's not like a No Man's Sky thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, I want to go from this planet to this planet. Yeah, that's like a 2-minute, not even a 2-minute fly there. Yeah, it's good. Choking to death in space sounds horrible though.
Yeah. My first death, me landing on a planet, climbing out of my ship without my suit on. I laughed. I was like, this is so stupid.
You must have died super quickly, yeah.
I'd like instantly, I was like, oh, damn it. I saw the suit. I don't know why I didn't put it on. So that's
great.
all. Well, that's not all.
Are you playing with the controller?
With the gamepad. That said, when it launched, we recommend playing with the gamepad. And I listened to developers.
Yeah, because I mean the 0G controls even with the gamepad feel a bit weird. Like it's not the most refined in the way it controls, but I forgive it because it's not really about like precision controls. Really, it's more about just getting from A to B type of thing. So
it's a good time.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna spend more time with that this coming week. But besides all of that, we also played something last night. A little beta for Back 4 Blood.
Did you know that there's a 4 in the logo of that game? Fucking crazy.
No, you have to tilt your head.
I mean, I didn't until yesterday.
This is amazing.
Been seeing that logo for like months now, and only yesterday I was like, oh wait,
my goodness,
the negative space is a 4. Amazing. Holy shit, that's so clever. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing as like people who looked at the logo for Evolve and were like, oh wait, it's 1 block V4. 1v4. So smart.
My goodness. So I ripped a bunch of gameplay yesterday. So if you're a video viewer, I'm gonna slap it on right now. Look at this. Bam. Oof. Oh, that's the wrong screen.
That's all the production screens.
That's the production stuff. I didn't set this up beforehand, but now you guys can see the game.
I quite like this game. So if you don't know, this is developed by Turtle Rock Studios, I think, who are the developers of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 and Evolve. So I guess they were just like, well, Valve isn't keen on a Left 4 Dead 3, so let's just make Left 4 Dead 3 and call it something else, because that's genuinely what it feels like.
It's literally Left 4 Dead. Sorry, if off scene, I'm busy chasing Luna away because she's attacking a cable. I kept saying yesterday that it's just legitimately Left 4 Dead 3, which again, like, I don't want to say it's not a bad thing by any means. Like, I love Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 came out I don't know, is it
ages ago now, eh?
years
Yeah.
ago? I'll look it up quickly.
I think Left 4 Dead 2 was like 2010.
Left 4 Dead. Let's see. Left 4 Dead 1 was... let's just look Left 4 Dead 2.
Must have been 2008 or something like that. I remember I was still in school when it came out.
2009. Okay, so it's been 12 years since we played Left 4 Dead 2. And 12 years ago, Left 4 Dead 2 was a really good time. Like, I played a bunch. I played Left 4 Dead 1 a lot with my friends. And then Left 4 Dead 2, we all just, moved over. It came out a year later, so it's kind of weird.
That's wild to me because it doesn't, I mean, I recall that time and it doesn't feel like that.
It came out like almost to the day a year later. And yeah, we played a lot of that. So having a modern day version of Left 4 Dead is, when I say it's Left 4 Dead 3, I'm not saying like, oh, it's just a copy paste. It feels good to have a modern day Left 4 Dead with, I think there've been some interesting adjustments, which I think on full release will keep the game interesting and fresh. Because even Left 4 Dead 2 at the time is the thing of you've really got like a limited pool of weapons, and whenever you get to a cache, like, oh, I'm gonna use the AK or I'm gonna use the sniper, and that's that, right? So you use that for the rest of the run. This game, there's a lot more variety of weapons, and you can slap on attachments, and in between all of that you have a perk/card system, which I suppose we'll dive into in more detail shortly. But even just that, it's like it's got modern day things which I'm really enjoying so far.
It's got the color coded loot,
Exactly.
It's got the green, blue, and purples, and all your attachments are color coded as well. And we were when we were playing it felt natural to be like, okay, this gun's got better stats, I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah.
And eventually I think I asked, I said, do you think it's actually making a difference? And I think John Markle said that he still had a white weapon, and it was doing like no damage.
To
even just the normal grunts. So it clearly was scaling with us quite nicely, which was cool. I mean, we were playing on the easiest difficulty, which I think it felt very forgiving. We didn't really have to think, but it was still fun. Like, we still got into some hairy situations. I'd say.
I think particularly in the later levels of the chapter, I mean, because like it was really a breeze the first few rounds. We were just breezing our way through, but I do think the one level up from that will be the right balance of, this is hard enough, that we can't just YOLO our way through, but still very enjoyable. It's when you
definitely.
get to,
I've been watching people playing on that veteran, and it looks like a big step up in terms of like you actually have to plan.
On screen, this is where you were dying.
Oh, and you saved me. I was like, I can't move, because when you get hit by them zombies, you get slowed down. So I was just like, well, I'm gonna die here because we're being placed explosives on this boat. It's good. I think what I like the most about it is just the gun feel is really good.
The guns feel fantastic.
I'm confused because I've seen people on social media saying they don't like how the guns feel, and I think it's like probably the strongest element of the game. I think the pistols especially feel really good to pop off like headshots and stuff, and the assault rifles feel weighty and that they're cartoony in a way, but I think it's got a good gun feel, which is really, really paramount when all you're doing is like shooting tons and tons of enemies.
Exactly.
All the time. So the card system. Do you understand how it works?
So, I mean, we will obviously have to dive into this more when the game actually releases. But my understanding is you put together a deck of cards. And between each round, when you get to a safe house, you have some downtime to choose a card from your deck to, give you a buff or something. So, for example, the starter deck they gave all of us was, you can choose to have 10% more stamina. You could have 10% more ammo. You could have a little bit more health. And I think you weren't sure that, if you choose one, I think you assumed it was done. Like, I've chosen this.
I thought it was like these are what, or like I thought, okay, my whole deck is applied as soon as I start the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think you apply them between each round, and they do stack, if I'm not mistaken. I think Brad was saying he kept taking like, the 10% ammo, so he was getting these big clips on his weapons.
So, my understanding then is
like
when you select a card, it isn't removed from your deck.
I think it just stays there, which doesn't make sense to me there. Like, we were saying, why would you make a big deck of cards then? Like,
exactly. Because I think your decks can be up to like 30 cards. So why would you do that?
Why not just have 5 cards and then you just, stack your favorite card?
Whatever. Yeah, and then exactly because you're dealt like 5 cards per round to choose from. So you know exactly what you're going to be dealt every single round.
Yeah.
And then if you can stack them, then
unless they're experimenting with that, because it would make sense, right? If it was a deck of cards and you build something and then, every time you choose a card, it's taken from the deck. But even 30 feels like too much if there's 8 rounds.
It feels way too much, yeah.
Unless the idea is you can build a deck across the entire campaign, which seems too long. Because, we played the first act. And so Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, each act, what do I call it? Like a level or a chapter?
Well, the whole thing was act 1, and then there were 8 chapters within.
That's it. Okay, so in Left 4 Dead, each act had 4 levels within them. Sometimes 5, depending. The Back 4 Blood beta had 8 in the first act. Yeah,
it was 8.
Which, look, crazy. I had a good time. It took us about an hour and 20 minutes.
No, it took us like 2 hours.
Was it 2?
We played for a long time, yeah.
Good Lord, because that is 2 hours. And that was good fun. But now if this card system's expecting you to build your character over, the entire game, which maybe I'm looking into it too much. That just seems too long, though.
Yeah, that seems way too... I thought... I was happy that there was a lot for us to play, but I thought this Act 1 was... What was weird was that it felt segmented. So it was like 4 chapters, and then you had like a sort of like a boss encounter where... we saw it on the footage here where we blew up that ship.
Yeah.
And then the act continues, but it's like you're restarting at a completely different place with... so it almost feels like it should be Act 2, but it's still defined as Act 1. So I'm not entirely sure why it's done like that. And I think especially on maybe the higher difficulties, you only have 3 continues throughout the entire act.
Yeah.
So like if you've played 7 chapters and then you die all 3 on the last 8th chapter, that's a lot of time you've just like thrown down the drain. So yeah, they say this is a beta, but this is more one of those marketing betas. So I don't know how much they will change structurally between now and October when it releases, but
it's 2 months.
The survey at the end was extensive. They are seriously taking back a lot of feedback. Yeah.
I thought it was quite interesting. They asked, for example, how confusing did you find the experience? Which is very applicable to someone who's never played Left 4 Dead, for example. You might be like, holy shit, like what am I meant to do? What are these special infected? What do all these items do?
On top of that, there's no real tutorials. So like the card system, we played for 2 hours and we were still like, do you think it works like this? Do you think it works like that? Actually, we're like figuring it out as we go. So yeah, there's still elements to it that I'm not entirely like certain about. But yeah, at the end of the day, we spent 2 hours just shooting zombies and talking shit on Discord, and that was fun. Yeah, I had a great time with that, and I felt engaged the entire way through. Like we said, there were instances where we actually really be like, okay, we have to focus here. This is what we're gonna do. I had a good time with it. I think it looks good as well. You were saying it's got a style to it. Yeah.
It's not maybe as noticeable in game now, but when you're in the camp / the main menu, whatever you call it, like the lobby,
the hub world or whatever.
Yeah, there's something about that camp that it really, and I'm glad Brad also like sort of felt it. To me, it's weird because it doesn't at all look like Borderlands, but there's elements of it that remind me of Borderlands, and I don't know if it's the way. Maybe the lines are thicker. Like I don't know. There's something about it that makes it look cartoony. But like when I say cartoony, it's weird because it doesn't at all look like Borderlands. But there's something about it that just reminds me of that.
It's definitely more stylized.
Yeah,
like it almost reminds me of more like high definition Far Cry 3, because Far Cry 3 had also this like stylized look to it before they went a bit deeper into like realism. So it threads the needle through that line. I think it looks great.
It looks really good, and it runs perfectly. So
I was having great performance on it. I mean, the only real issues I had, which only really occurred before you joined the lobby, where I disconnected from a match twice. Yeah,
I had it as well, where there were times when I just hung. Oh my god, that's where thing jumps out of the wall.
These things that jump from the fucking wall. Oh my god, they're like jump scares in the middle of this fast-paced shooter. And
great.
My god.
I had times where I disconnected, like you guys were just standing still on my screen, but then after 30 seconds, it kept me in the game, thankfully. Like I didn't get kicked out.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some work to be done with the netcode.
Yeah, because it's kind of shitty. I mean,
it's our internet. I don't know.
I understand why they do it, but I also don't like the fact that like I got disconnected and booted back to the main menu, and then it's like, do you want to reconnect? And I'm like, yes. And then as soon as I reconnect, it's like, well, you got to wait for them to get to the end of the chapter.
Oh, the safe house, yeah.
And I'm just like, that's so stupid.
That's kind of weird though, because even Left 4 Dead, like one of the to me, one of the most groundbreaking features of Left 4 Dead back then was like you could just join whenever. Like, or even not only that,
match going, yeah.
You could be in a game and you could say like, I'm going to take a break, and it would just let AI take over your character immediately, and you could just join back in whenever you're ready. Like that to me was wow. So it's weird that it doesn't have that level of
I don't understand.
Mid-game?
Yeah, exactly. It feels weird because a bot does take over me. Like, why can't I then just now I'm the bot?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't know if it's like a limitation of some competitive play aspect or whatever, but I think it's a bit garbage because like the act or the chapters are long. So if you disconnect and then you're like, well, now I'm just watching for the next 15 minutes, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but
and then on top of it, I disconnected twice. So like I reconnected, waited till they got to the safe house, and then the very next chapter I got disconnected again. I was like, ugh. I was like quite ready to be like, fuck this. And then you came on and luckily we had no more issues. So.
I was like, come back. I'm glad, there were no more issues after that. But I mean, these are things that maybe or hopefully they'll address. I mean, like you said, this beta feels more like a marketing thing where it's like, I find it so cheeky because it's like, you can pre-order the game, we'll give you beta access, like instant beta access, or you can watch an hour of Twitch and you did that. You're like, okay, they gave me 3 codes.
Yeah, so on top of it. So I got a code and then I got 3 to give away. So it's definitely a marketing thing. It feels a lot like what Valorant did.
I mean, it gets people on Twitch, everything.
I mean, I think this was one of the highest played games on Twitch yesterday. So it's marketing and it's working. People are watching the game. Even if you aren't really watching that full hour,
it's still giving them the airtime, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're listening to this, you think, oh man, this sounds like a good time. There is another beta coming up this weekend, which I don't know if it'll be the same content or if they're going to maybe test the verses out. But if you mildly interested, it's free to play. To try. It's
because the verses is not active right now, is it?
No, not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. I maybe it is. I don't know.
I saw it in the menu, but I don't think. I think when I can't remember if it was Kat or Brad, but they tried to launch a game and it just like put them back in the hub.
Yes, I don't know. But it's an 18 gig download and it's worth trying. Like whether you're a fan of Left 4 Dead or not, it's a great time to play. Like I don't know how fun it is solo with AR, but with friends it's definitely a good time.
Yeah, I played before I logged onto the Discord. I was playing with bots. Those bots are stupid. I didn't feel like they were doing like clever things at all. So I definitely think. I mean, there's matchmaking, so you can play with randoms.
You can play with other people,
but I think that's definitely the way to play.
Yeah, and it's on just about every platform except Switch, I think.
Yeah. Steam and Epic. So yeah. So that's cool. So it's definitely a game I'll play with a mouse and keyboard.
100%. And just in conclusion, I really enjoyed it, and I'm keen to see how the final game shapes up. I'm very keen for you to sink your teeth into versus, because you said yesterday like you didn't enjoy versus of Left 4 Dead 1. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there was maybe a hardcore group or movement of players locally who played a lot of versus, and I played a ton of it, and I'm very excited to see this game. With the competitive side to it, it becomes a thing of you learn the map so well, you learn how the infected work, and you set up ambushes, and it's a lot of fun when you pull it off. And likewise, as a survivor, things feel hectic. So when you survive, it feels good.
I think you were saying there was one map here which was like covered in fog, and you're like, I do not want to play versus.
There are a lot of parts of this campaign we did where I'm like, oh god, this must be an absolute nightmare. Oh, look at that thing launch. Yeah, I enjoyed it though. I'm very keen to play. I mean, it's coming out in October.
Yeah, I think it's beginning of October because it was meant to be end of August and then it got pushed a little bit. So it's soon. I'm genuinely keen to play more this weekend. So that's Back for Blood. Speaking of betas, I'll just quickly touch on a bit more Halo. So last week, I think when we recorded, I said I'd played a little bit of the Halo technical tests. This one is the exact opposite of Back for Blood in that it genuinely was a test. Like it's marketing because people are playing Halo, but like shit was broken in there, and they were really like they were rolling new features out every few hours to try and test certain things. So I had a great time with it. I think it's a great blend of classic and modern Halo in that everyone still has a sprint, which if you're not familiar with Halo, that sounds weird. It's like, of course there's a sprint. That's a fairly new feature in Halo. And at one point it was only an ability assigned to a specific class that you would choose for multiplayer. But now everyone's still got a sprint. You've still got aim down sights for any weapon, which I still find strange. But Halo is very much a mobility-based shooter. So, like, I was aiming down sights far less and more focusing on, like, jumping between shots or bunny hopping or stuff like that. It's that type of shooter. Especially since it takes a while to kill people. So, I thought it was really good. I thought the maps were nice and small and tight as they generally are for 4v4 slayers. So some of the new items are cool. I like the grapple hook a lot. I'm sure you saw
I've seen
on Twitter. Yeah, a lot of people sharing some fucking insane like rocket kills with the grapple hook. I think that's going to really change the way mobility works in multiplayer, and I love that. I've seen some funny clips of people because you can use the grapple hook to grab weapons as well. So some people going for like a power weapon on the map, like a rocket launcher or a sniper, and someone using the grapple hook to like steal it from under them, which is really funny.
Amazing.
It's good. I think it's really great. I got a taste of the battle pass system because obviously Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free. You won't have to purchase Halo Infinite. So there's a battle pass system. And what I like about the battle pass system is that the battle passes aren't time limited, so you can purchase past battle passes with stuff that you enjoy and keep progressing towards them, which I think is a far more respectful way to manage your time. It almost feels like 343 were like, we get it. People play Fortnite, they play Apex. If we make things limited, then people are gonna miss out on it because you can only dedicate so much time to one of these shooters. So I think this is a smart thing to encourage people to come back when they want and still grind out what they want. So it's fun. I had a great time with it.
I'm interested in this game for us particularly because you are someone who has played every Halo from day one, so you know the franchise inside out. Whereas I've literally played Halo 1.
The best.
So, I mean, it's in the name Halo 1. It's the best one. So I'm very keen for this game to come out purely so we can compare notes. I can be like, as a newcomer, it's really good, or it's real bad, or I don't get the hype, or I get the hype. Like, I'm very keen to definitely take it out for a little spin. I'm even more curious on that to see how this game sells. Purely because it's, like you said, multiplayer is free to play and it's going to be on Game Pass. So who's actually just going to outright buy this game for the campaign? Like, I don't know if we'll ever see those numbers, but I'd love to know, like,
oh yeah, Microsoft's not going to distinguish between sales and Game Pass players.
But it would be interesting to know, like, 3 million copies sold, 5 million players on Game Pass. Like, we'll never see that, but it would be very interesting to see who actually just buys it for the story. Like, I don't know. It's a weird one.
I'm curious. I think them spinning off the multiplayer's free to play was smart. Like they had to do that. Yeah, they had to do that, and it's the smartest thing you could do because that is the draw. I mean, I love Halo campaigns. I think they're mostly fantastic, except for 5. 5 is terrible. But the multiplayer is what keeps people coming back, and there's still people playing Halo 3 multiplayer because it's fucking amazing. Like, it's great, and the Master Chief Collection just helped that because now, like, every game in the series has servers that you can connect to and play with people. So, yeah. I'm curious as well. I think, like you said, Microsoft will not give those numbers. They'll be like, Halo Infinite is played by 10 million people, or whatever. Like, how many of those are raw sales? Then again,
doesn't matter.
Does Microsoft even care? Yeah, no. Exactly. Like, if people are playing Halo and subscribing to Game Pass, I think they are happy enough.
I do wonder with that Battle Pass, there will be some currency side to it. Yes. Like there has to be. Yeah. So they're going to make
you will have to buy the Battle Passes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I think it was EA. They came out with their financials this week, and I think 40% of all their revenue is DLC and microtransactions. So, like, we bitch and moan about it, but that, that is the way people play games now. It might not be the way we enjoy games, how we grew up with them. But, like, you look at games like Fortnite and Apex and PUBG and Call of Duty, like, that's their market. FIFA,
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Us dinosaurs got to adapt.
Can't wait for the Back 4 Blood Battle Pass. Which
pretty sure there will be one.
I don't know. That game's got a card system, so it makes me wonder, like, to what level they're going to. They got
to be careful.
We'll see.
They got to be careful because if it's suddenly like, I don't feel like I can get past this level without paying for something, that would be real shitty.
Yeah. So, but look, from what we've seen thus far, it seems like it's buffs, but like nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that so far. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Should we get into game releases for the week?
Games out this week. Finally, the screen I started the podcast on.
Oh, is that the one? You'd love to see it. We're looking at games releasing from today, August 7th already. Fuck me. Till August 13th.
Where has the year gone?
Yeah, I can't anymore. I just can't. August 7th to August 13th. Let's see. Okay.
It's not too much.
Yeah, not too much. But there's stuff.
There's a good console game coming out. Let me tell you.
So we got Mech Armada coming to Steam Early Access August 10th. We've got Action Arcade Wrestling. That sounds like a good time. PS4 and Xbox One August 10th. Black Book. Maybe that's the prequel to Death Note. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch August 10th. Glitch Punk coming to Steam Early Access.
They renamed Cyberpunk. That's too good.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Steam Early Access on PC, August 11th. Fire Tonight. That sounds like a song. I don't know why. It feels like lyrics from a song. Sounds hot, yeah. PC and Switch, August 12th. The Plane Effect coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch, August 12th. Weird that it's new gen consoles and then Switch. Like, why not all the consoles then as well?
It's too much, man. It's too much.
Tetragon, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, August 12th. This is a big one, purely because it's huge overseas, and it's finally coming to the West. Naraka Blade Point, PC, August 12th. I think I can't remember if it's an MMO or a Battle Royale, but I just know that everyone's like, yeah, this game is huge in Asia specifically. So.
Oh, damn.
Foreclosed, PC,
yes,
PS4.
This is on everything.
Oh, yeah, it's literally on everything. August 12th. And then the big release for the week, Hades, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
Let me tell you,
and S.
console people, if you've had your eye on Hades going, that seems vaguely interesting, you get that game and you enjoy it because that is a good game. That is Alessandro's game of the year last year. That was second for me, I think, after Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is a good time.
It's a fucking great time.
It's really, really good game. And I don't know, like the fact that it's a roguelite makes me wonder, like it's maybe not for everyone, but holy shit, it is a fantastic roguelite if you are into those kinds of games. Would recommend.
It's a banger of a game.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Should we move on to news?
Little news. Cool.
Gaming news.
What would you like to start us off on?
Let me get the list. Where is my... Oh, there it is. Let's see. I guess let's get the ongoing shitty news out of the way first. So, if you've listened to previous podcasts, you will know that Activision and Blizzard going through... Wow, what is going on with that picture? That is some great autosizing of the web browser there. That is fantastic.
I've got it full screen my side, can I just say? There's some
There's some warping going on there. It's very funny. But yeah, if you've been paying attention, you'll know that Activision and Blizzard are being sued by the government of California, and that a lot of their current and former employees are basically backing that suit, saying that shit has been bad there for years now. So literally, it might have been like, I don't know, an hour or two before Activision had their quarterly earnings call. They announced that J. Allen Brack, the current Blizzard president, has exited. Their statement didn't acknowledge any lawsuits or any controversy. They just said he was seeking new opportunities. Cool.
It's a weird thing to happen.
So now Activision Blizzard have made Jen O'Neill, the former lead of Vicarious Visions, and Mike Ybarra, former vice president of Xbox. They are now the co-leaders of Blizzard. Not president, not CEO, co-leaders. Which
take from that what you will.
Basically just tells me that good old Bobby Kotick doesn't want anyone running things at Blizzard. So, it actually says here in the Eurogamer story, neither O'Neill nor Ybarra were mentioned as Blizzard presidents or CEOs, suggesting Activision Blizzard is taking a firmer grip over the maker of World of Warcraft and Overwatch. That shitstorm keeps going on. And there keeps being more and more garbage things brought out from that suit. Jason Schreier published a report recently on some things that have been happening there over the past couple of years, and it's still
he's
real garbage.
I think he interviewed more than 50 people and did like a whole deep dive into. There's some stuff in his story which wasn't seen in the lawsuit or
some frightening shit. The opening anecdote alone is like, Jesus Christ.
I think we're probably going to see this pop up into news every week for. I mean, we have. It's been every week we've had something new to touch on. So
and it's good because they're about to announce a new Call of Duty, and this shit should definitely be front and center when that gets announced. Okay, moving on.
Story developing.
Take your next one.
I think you wanted to touch on the Dead Space remake. Could be out at the end of 2022, which is not that far away. Can I just say? It's
not
next
at all.
Year. It's 1 year from now. We could be playing Dead Space remake.
I mean, this is according to Jeff
oh my God, who wrote
this? This bozo, Alessandro
Barbosa.
Get out of here. So Jeff Grubb over at GamesBeat says he has spoken to members of the EA Motive team and that the plan currently is for Dead Space to launch at the end of 2022. Obviously, that's a year out. Things can change. plans always change, especially in the midst of a pandemic. So yeah, but that would make sense to me. Have it be a big bang for like the fall of 2022. I'm sure EA would like to have that remain on course. But that's cool. I mean, when they teased it, what was it, a few weeks ago, and didn't really show gameplay, I was like, oh, this thing's like real far out. So if it's only a year away, that's cool. Hopefully we'll see more of it soon.
I wonder, I mean, how long have they been working on it?
I don't know. Yeah. So it must have been quite a while now if it's at this
so
stage.
Soon, yeah. Well, hopefully we see some gameplay or something soon then. Yeah, that's coming. I suppose let us touch on Nintendo Switch sales. So this is hilarious because it says Nintendo Switch sales slow year on year. You're like, oh man, the Switch is no longer selling as well as it used to. But as consoles near console nears 90 million.
It's crazy.
So to put that into perspective, the Nintendo Wii is like one of the best selling consoles of all time, because I think that console just came at a time where it just roped in a whole lot of casual gamers, as well as some hardcore gamers with a good library of Nintendo titles. And it sold, I mean, I'm sure it's in the story somewhere.
Much like the Switch has done.
Yeah. The Switch
sold, I think, 101. The Wii.
101. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So the Switch is like just a cool 12 million away from beating that, and the Switch has been out 4 years.
4 and a bit years, yeah. 4 and
Which
a bit
is
years.
just
It's
insane,
mental.
yeah.
It's mental. I mean, if it continues, I mean, it won't. Obviously, already we've seen the console sales slowed year on year, and that makes sense. I think last year was a real anomaly for all console makers, and to match that would be close to impossible. I think the Animal Crossing sales have slowed considerably since the big boom from last year. So, it makes sense that this is happening. But yeah, 90 million. They could, by the next quarter, pass the Wii. And if things keep going like this, I could foresee it challenging the all-time record of the PlayStation 2. So
what is that on?
150?
Yeah, I think this is long run stuff. I think the
that
Switch
was like
is
a
around
decade,
for another 3 or 4 years. I also see it overtaking.
And the OLED Switch is definitely going to boost
that'll push shells up. I mean, and remember, as the years go on, like eventually things they might, if they, for example, put out a new gen something, the Switch goes cheaper. Like I don't know, it's just it's selling like hotcakes, and it is. You know why? Because it's a good console.
Yeah.
Switch is
I'm very happy. On the brink of a Wii U that only sold 13 million. To have this sort of success is cool for Nintendo.
Just imagine being Nintendo. You sold 13 million after the Wii, which sold 100 million.
It just shows you. It like recontextualizes how bad that console launch was. Like catastrophic. Like the fact that they did not fold underneath that is.
It's insane.
It's a miracle, because that is the sort of shit that killed like Sega in the console space. So, yeah, for them to come back with a banger like this, love to see it.
I mean, and that's not even taking into account the software sales, which are again just
absolutely absurd.
I mean,
I think Animal Crossing's on like 34 million or something like that.
Yeah, so it's up. Mario Kart's on 37 million, Animal Crossing on 33 million. Which, like, just to give you context on that, because those are Nintendo exclusives, right? Like, what is God of War sold, for example?
I don't
PS
even
exclusive.
Think it's
that's like
10.
No, it hasn't reached 10, and that's like a good game, really good. One of the best PS exclusives.
And the way to really judge that is, I mean, the PS4 sold 90 million, somewhere around there as well. So your attach rate for like a God of War or a Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man sold like 15 million. Your attach rate is like 1 in 6. If you look at Mario Kart, you look at Animal Crossing, that's 1 in 3. That's a ridiculous attach rate. Like absolute, it's absurd. That's the sort of things people dream of,
I don't think it's relevant now, but Breath of the Wild at one stage was like more than 100% attach rate because people bought it
when it launched. They bought it before they could buy the actual Switch, so it had higher sales.
Amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. I distinctly remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nintendo printing money.
I suppose let's just keep it Nintendo quickly. Mario Golf Super Rush getting a new course, New Donk City.
This is cool because, like, I won't lie, I fell off this game pretty quickly because I just felt like there wasn't enough content there. As much as I enjoyed it, it's just like, okay, well, I've played the courses that are available and I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
And New Donk City looks like a weird course, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I definitely want to. When is this out even?
It's out already, I think.
Oh, is it out already? I'll
Yep.
just give it a bash. I enjoyed my time with Mario Golf, but yeah, I'm with you. It's one of those things where I like dipped my toes in and thought, this is really cool. And then I just moved on. So yeah.
I spent a lot more time with Mario Tennis Aces
Mario Tennis,
than I did. Yeah. I really enjoyed tennis. But yeah, more weird like courses like this, and they do say in the tweet that more updates, free updates are coming later this year. So this update includes ranked mode for online play, which is good. Toadette as a new character, New Donk City as a new course, and improved motion controls if that's your thing.
Yep. So something to look forward to there. What do you want to talk about next?
Should we talk about the name change for PUBG?
PUBG.
Written by this guy, Darren Bozo Hayes.
Darren Bone Thighs. You know,
Darren
putting
Bone
on
Thighs.
some good news here. So PUBG player unknowns battlegrounds, as you know, the full acronym. Affectionately called PUBG, is now being relabeled PUBG Battlegrounds, making it player unknowns battlegrounds. If you really
makes no sense. Makes no sense.
But yeah, it's
I guess they were just like, well, our company's called PUBG Corp. I guess our game needs to be called PUBG. Everyone calls it PUBG anyway, so
yeah. But I suppose this is in light of the Callisto protocol coming out in the near future. Well, in future, which is also set in the PUBG universe. I don't know how that's relevant, or
I'm pretty sure it's just a marketing thing. Like, yeah, it's it's set in the universe, but will it reference anything? Probably not. We'll have a document that has the name of the original map on there or some shit like that, and then we say it's connected, stuff like that. So I'm very excited for the Callisto protocol. Like the fact that we're getting a new Dead Space and the Callisto protocol possibly both in 2022. Holy shit.
Launching on the same day. You heard it here first.
Real keen for both of those games. So yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima getting a mode. So your Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer Legends mode is getting a standalone launch. So my understanding is that there's a new 2 versus 2 mode named Rivals, which
reminds me a lot of Destiny's Gambit, to be honest.
Yeah, it's you're not fighting each other, you're just taking on waves of enemies.
It's like an indirect multiplayer game. So you are fighting waves of so Gambit's a bit different because it can be direct at times, but it's like you're fighting waves of enemies and then using currency that you earn from killing those to like send stronger enemies to your opponents. So that's cool.
There's actually a is it it was a Warcraft. There were a bunch of Warcraft 3 mods like this where it's an interesting loop where you get sent enemies, you make currency, use that currency to send your opponent's enemies, and the loop continues until someone loses. And it's good fun. So I feel
like the foundation of all the big multiplayer games come from a Warcraft 3 mod.
Exactly, to some degree. So now that in a Ghost of Tsushima setting, I think will be a lot of fun. I haven't played the multiplayer in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, and I keep seeing people saying it's like really good. So I feel like I've missed the boat on this one.
You've missed.
Maybe we should get on that when the director's cut comes out later this year. But
PS5.
Or later this month. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the standalone version will be available for $20. If you just want to play the.
Yeah, you don't need the base game. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then if you want to play the base game, you can upgrade to it for $40 on PS4 and $50 on PS5. So yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Game looks great.
We have 2 left. Ariana Grande
Do it.
did a Fortnite. Fortnite out here having live tours. So the next person they set their targets on Ariana Grande, who is now a skin in the game as well.
By the time you're hearing this, the concert would have happened. The concert's
done, yeah. But I think you can still. I mean, I don't know how the loot works, but I presume you can still go grab the.
I think you can still buy Ariana
skin
Grande's
or buy
skin.
it, yeah.
I saw some clips of the concert. It looked crazy, like absolutely like bonkers cool.
Fortnite's actually doing. I don't get the hate this game gets. Like it's actually kind of infuriating that people dismiss it because like a kid's game, and like I get it because it's cartoony and that, but man, Fortnite has really set the benchmark for a lot of it's set the foundation for battle royales today as we know it, and it continues to just
evolve. Live service games.
Yeah, it continues to be this benchmark of like this is how you do a live service game, and you keep it fresh and you keep people coming back.
I mean, the fact that you've got like concerts happening in the game, like you had Travis Scott, you have Ariana Grande, like you have movies premiering their trailers in this game. It's a cultural touchstone. Like to dismiss it is like to say things like Star Wars were insignificant to like science fiction or stuff like that.
Star Wars, nothing to do with science fiction.
It's just like absurd. It's ridiculous to say. I mean, you cannot enjoy playing the game. That is 100% completely valid. Yeah. But to dismiss its entire influence on the industry is just silly. Yeah. Like it's like saying Doom wasn't a touchstone for first-person shooters.
It wasn't. Doom is the baby game. It's only for children.
Doom's a baby game. Yeah, Fortnite baby game, dead game.
I don't see. I don't see any concerts in Apex or Warzone. So checkmate. Take that.
I mean, Apex and Warzone, from two of the biggest publishers in the world, got caught with egg on their face by Epic going, check this shit out. And now they are like essentially I think both of them have come into their own. They're not trying to chase the same dragon, so to speak, but they all follow a similar formula that Fortnite pioneered.
Exactly.
Whether by accident or not. So yeah. It's cool. It's cool. I would, just like the Travis Scott one, I went to and looked up the concert footage, and it's cool. Like,
it's crazy.
It's a cool thing. Yeah.
And I suppose, we flew through news this week. Last bit of news, ID at Xbox is having a showcase on August 10th. So if you're looking to see what indie games are hitting Game Pass, that's what you want to tune in for. I don't know if there's any rumors or big surprises due at this
I don't know. What's weird is that, Annapurna had their showcase fairly recently, and a lot of the games like 12 minutes and the Artful Escape are coming to Game Pass fairly soon. So I don't know if it'll just be a rehash of that or there'll be new things. So yeah, I'm keen to see what's
coming to Game Pass.
Listen, I would be very
happy.
Can
you imagine? We've all been expecting it to come from a Nintendo showcase, but then Xbox come out and say, we bought Team Cherry and Songs and Xbox exclusive on Game Pass.
Listen, give it to me anywhere. I don't care where.
It's fine.
I just
I'll play it anywhere, but preferably Switch, please. But I'll play it anywhere. But yeah, that's news. Yeah, we flew through that this week.
That's news. That means it's time for questions. If you want to send us a question, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com, or you can message us on all of our social platforms at Checkpoint Chats on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere.
Okay,
I think we have like a handful.
We've got some, yeah.
I'm sure there's some shit talk from Cello somewhere around there.
Of course. So let me just see. I know we had on Twitter, this one made me laugh. So we have a question from Erdnod Wolf, or at Dapper Wolf, who says, yes, why did I buy Darksiders 3, Code Vein, and Metro Exodus?
That's a lot of game.
Wow, why did they buy all these games, man? This is the question.
Funny enough, what is it? Darksiders 3, Code
Vein, and Metro Exodus.
I've only played one of those three, which is Metro, obviously. I haven't played Code Vein, and Darksiders 3 is one of those that like I will get to maybe one day. It's on Game Pass. Yeah. I like the first two Darksiders, but this third one doesn't look like crazy.
So I know John Michael played Code Vein, and he quite enjoyed it.
I know it's very similar to like the God Eater games, which I've never really gone into. So I'm just curious, why all three at this time? Were they on sale?
It might have been like I know Steam and Epic, they wrapped up their summer sales this week, I think.
Was it only this week? Oh, okay. So yeah, probably that. Listen, you got 3 games there that, I know for a fact Code Vein and Metro are pretty long. So you've got a good thing going there. You'll be satisfied and entertained for a long time. So I'd say good call.
Good call. And yeah, let us know, if you actually enjoy them. Which one you're playing first and how was it? And then we have some questions on Instagram, and you guessed it. You guessed it from Cello.
I have to take another sip of water for this bullshit.
Oh my God. Don't worry. He was polite this week, I think. Let me just see. So, question 1. Sandy and I don't agree on much, but salt and vinegar chips remain bay. Here's a question, though. A question on the packet. Should it be blue or green? As the UK has salt and vinegar in green packets while we have them in blue packets.
I know, if I'm not mistaken, in the Netherlands, salt and vinegar is in orange purple. That's only for their national chips.
It's actually weird because I think in South Africa, blue is just the universal color of salt and vinegar or just salted chips for some reason like that. Well, apart from Lay's has it as yellow.
That's lightly salted.
Lightly salted. Do they have? Yeah. They do have salt and vinegar in blue,
which is in blue. Yeah, it's like a dark blue, and then a light blue is their balsamic vinegar flavor. So I guess vinegar is the blue, maybe. I don't know why.
Do you think the ingredients is assigned a color? Then when they mix them, they just put out the color palette. Like
maybe
you've got salt is blue, balsamic vinegar is like white, whatever. We mix them. We've got light blue now
But then you get Doritos, and their blue is like sweet chili. So
but Doritos doesn't have a salt and vinegar chip.
No, they don't. And even more confusing, if you go to the States, the blue Doritos, which is the exact same fucking blue, is Cool Ranch, and it is disgusting.
Different.
Cool Ranch chips, disgusting. So yeah, I got bamboozled there because I was like, yeah, sweet chili chips. I was like, what is this? What the fuck?
So now the question remains though, why should it be blue or green? Who's the imposter here with the color?
I mean, neither color really makes sense.
No.
Like
blue only makes sense because if it's very salty, you'll cry, which is blue. So
maybe it's blue because it's so salty and it fucking wrecks your mouth so much that you need the coolness of some blue water.
Of water, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the UK do they drink beer or something to
flat get rid beer, of it? Or they drink shots of grass? I don't know. Why is it green? Our green here is reserved for like what? Cheese and onion.
Cheese and onion, yeah.
Which is a bottom tier chip. Let me tell you that. That is
wow.
It's a real bottom tier chip. I
learned something this week. Okay, so when we were playing some Trackmania, we like to speak some shit. You had gone to bed at this time. I think it was Tuesday.
You mean the real shit talk had only come afterwards?
Wait a minute. When you played on Thursday? No, so you went on Thursday, Tuesday. Yeah. On Tuesday we played, and then when a lot of people went to bed, it was me, Cello, and Brad with Deathbox in my Twitch chat talking chip flavors for like 2 hours. And this came about purely because Simba have said that they are discontinuing. As part of a campaign, they had people vote for, the flavor they want to. It was like which ones must stay, which ones must go. Tomato flavor chips are going, apparently. They're done.
What? Oh, are they really?
And yeah, and I had the exact same reaction as you. I'm like, damn, I like the tomato flavor chips.
That is
like
ridiculous.
I can't believe this. And then
what the fuck?
When I expressed my concern to what I thought were my friends, they all said like, nah, tomato is disgusting.
No ways, man. I mean, we mentioned this on Thursday during Trackmania, but tomato is a top tier chip. Like you put that shit in a toasted cheese. Oh.
See, but here's the problem. So I think the way the campaign worked is you just voted for your favorites, and then whoever had the least amount of votes was like, sorry, you're out. So what is your favorite chip?
So you see that exactly that. It's the problem. Tomatoes are not my favorite.
Exactly.
But I like it a lot. Like, if I had to go favorite, it would probably be like a fruit chutney or a salt and vinegar.
Fruit chutney is a good one.
Fruit chutney.
Where do you fall on beef flavor chips?
You know, I'll take it or leave it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of chips that taste of a protein. So like the chicken ones, the beef ones, nah. Like it's fine. You know, it's not my thing. Barbecue is also like a so, and then they get real exotic. I mean, we were talking about it, but like you get Pringles that are cheeseburger flavor, which is a travesty. I think Simba has peri peri chicken.
I don't know if I've had that.
Yeah, you get some weird. The more complex the flavor, the worse the chip is going to be. Just keep it simple.
That's a fact.
But if it's a favorite, it's like salt and vinegar to the point where it's like literally cutting my tongue. It's so vinegary. Like
it's
let's
so
get
strong.
in there. Yeah.
My goodness. So yeah, should be in a blue packet. I think that's our answer. Question 2: what is the best Trackmania map? This is an interesting one because I don't think
only reserved to the new season.
No, I don't think it has to be. What is the best map? Period. I can't even remember a lot of maps from the previous season.
My favorite one was from the first season. Can't remember if it was map number 4 or 6, but it was a fairly short one where you mostly went full out and it was very tight turns, and the one part of the track you do like a slightly elevated like U-turn. And as soon as you hit that U-turn, you're just going flat out and you got to hit like the apex of these corners like perfect. I think the whole lap only takes like 30 seconds or ridiculous, something ridiculous. So I really like that map.
You know what I just had a memory of now? There was one track in one of the seasons we didn't like, but we did like this track because it was hilarious. It was the one where you basically like bobsled down all those ramps.
I remember
that was funny just for the memes of people like finishing on their roof and like beating their times. Like
and not understanding how to get faster because like how the fuck does that map even work? Like
it was amazing.
Oh, the one from the first season that was also good was the one at night with the red like balloon things. It was like a very fast track and you had to like weave in and out of those red
the pillars,
barriers.
Whatever.
Yes, that one was
exactly
really fun.
What I'm talking about.
That one was really fun.
I think on the the new season. So you guys all moan about the new season, but let me tell you, this season, good tracks.
The latter half
good
of that
tracks.
Season kind of garbage. We'll say.
Listen, I thought the same until you get to know them. Like, it's funny because the more we play, the more we're like, damn, this track's actually really good. Maybe we are the problem. We just to learn the tracks.
It's not you, it's
Look,
me.
Not going to argue. Some tracks are garbage, but a lot of the harder ones are still really good. I really like the one where we call it like the sausage map or the snake map.
Yes, I like that one a lot too.
That one, I think everyone starts to go, this is an awful track, but when you learn it, it's like I've played it so much now, and yesterday after all these hours was the first time I was able to like flat out on the first part of that map where I didn't break once, and I'm like, I don't know how I did that, but I've got the line now, and it's just like a full speed map.
You can go full speed on that entire map almost if you
just about
it's so good, and just the little like the little motions to ramp off at the right time and ramp back on like. Yeah, I like that map. That's probably my favorite of the season as well.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's quite exciting is that the new season should be September, if I'm not mistaken. So we can start fresh.
Yeah, you see, I'm going to do that this time because I started when you guys had like
tumbled
like 30 hours into this, and Chilla's like, look at me, I got fast up. Yeah. Let's go to new maps.
Brad and Chilla are really good at this season. I'm in matchmaking. I'm always like third on the team. Once in a blue moon, I'm MVP. But that's like once in a blue moon. Second last question from Chilla says, you have a weekend left to live. What do you do? Boomer answers are welcome.
A weekend left to live.
I buy property and I invest. I'm joking.
I invest for the future me.
See, it's difficult because
I don't know.
My first instinct is like, I'll travel, but traveling takes time.
Yeah.
So do
that's
I get on a plane for 8 hours? Like, you know what? Maybe if you do it on a Friday evening and you sleep for the because you're going to sleep anyway. Like, I don't know if you're going to have it in you to stay up all weekend, or maybe you will because you know you're going to die. But if I know, like,
imagine trying to fall asleep knowing that you're like dying in like 24 hours, please.
But I mean, if I'm tired and I know I'm going to sleep one night, you know, maybe I'll catch a flight to somewhere and have just a relaxing weekend in a foreign country. Go eat pizza in Italy or Praga roll in Portugal and just hang out.
Food would probably be up there as well. I would just like not give a fuck, obviously, just like eat as much as I could. I would just spend a lot of fucking money. Like I would probably like use money to like rent a ridiculous sports car or
go driving.
Like do shit I would never be able to do because I need to think about like the future TM. Maybe instead of renting the car, I'd try to steal the car, GTA style. I mean, I'm gonna die, so
you spend the whole weekend on like an episode of America's Wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Like
those high-speed
the longest fucking car chase.
We've been chasing this man for nearly 48 hours.
But that also sounds like a lot of work.
He's dead.
I reached 30 seconds to go, and I'm like, well, they will never catch me now.
He's driven off a bridge. Oh, wow. Amazing.
I don't know. Would I just play games for the weekend? Maybe. Go out on a good note. Go out doing what you love.
Yeah, but it's difficult because even games, like you could spend a whole day playing, let's say, Trackmania, for example, and it'll be fun, but the time will just go so quickly. It'll be gone.
And why would I spend my last 24 hours playing a game with Cello? I mean, come on.
Why would you spend the last 24 hours of your life beating Cello repeatedly?
I mean, there's far more fulfilling things to do with my life.
My goodness. Yeah, I think next season we have to all start on the same day and we can really sink our teeth into that. Yeah.
At least we are nice people. Neither of us said, I will go kill my greatest enemy or something like that. Like go all fucking Purge style or something.
She's like, damn, Cello really was on Sandy's case. I'm like, yeah, they have a rivalry. She's like, what? I'm like, it's a thing. Like, it's just, it's not serious, but it's fun to like shit.
It's serious to me. God.
You go to bed, before bed every night you throw darts at, lying in bed, throw darts at Cello's face on the wall. And Shani's like, do you have to stop this? Like, no, I will beat him.
Never.
And then last question from Cello. Another would you rather, not as detailed as the last one we did last week. But
no orangutans or swords. Okay.
Would you rather have hiccups for the rest of your life or constantly feel like you have to sneeze?
Oh, fuck.
See, this is an easy one for me because I think the feeling of having to sneeze is awful. Like your eyes, clenched shut because you think it's coming up. Your nose is itchy. To have that for the rest of my life, I'd rather die.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to do some things. Like you wouldn't be able to probably drive. You'd probably be fucked playing games because, like you said, your eyes would always be like.
Can you imagine living like this, going?
Yeah, that
for the rest of your life.
But then again, hiccups. I mean, if I get hiccups for an hour, I want to die.
But hiccups affect people differently. Like when I get hiccups, they're not sore. They're just like irritating more than anything. It's more like I can't help it. It just happens. And
I think over time it will get so painful.
You think it'll get worse?
Because eventually you'll just bruise your fucking like abs because they keep like flexing every 2 seconds.
But after a few weeks, you'll have a 6-pack.
That's true.
You see,
that is true.
So you'll be the most irritating person in the world, but with the most glorious washboard abs.
Yeah. So again, you say that most irritating. Imagine being in a movie and you can't stop hiccuping.
I'll just never watch a movie again.
Oh, then again, if you're constantly sneezing, you won't watch a movie again either because you won't be able to see the fucking
But
thing.
You're not sneezing though. Yeah, you just go.
Yeah, so you just like. No, that. Yeah, as much as it pains me, I think I'd choose the hiccups because at least I could do normal shit. Like,
yep.
The sneezing sounds too debilitating.
My goodness. Yeah, sneezes it is.
No, hiccups. What are you talking about?
I mean, sorry, hiccups. Hiccups it is.
My goodness.
And on that note, I think that is all the questions.
And on that bombshell.
On that hiccup/sneeze bombshell.
I just realized when we took our pause earlier, we never did another clap test. So good luck syncing this shit up.
I know. We'll talk about it after the show. Don't worry.
I think I'll just give you the unedited audio.
Unedited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. But yeah, that is all she wrote on this fine episode of 155. With all these questions. She wrote.
That's it, Doc. That's
My goodness, we just over an hour and a half, like the good old days. How did this happen?
Yeah. It's weird because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, wow, this is so long, and then I remember we had like a 20-minute break because my bowels played a trick.
Nature summoned.
Yeah.
Said, hey,
that curry. You know what happened? I went to a curry place down the road that I go to all the time, love it. And for some reason, my great brain yesterday was like, you know what? You should try the hot curry today. Never do that.
You see, there's something wrong with people like you and Lenska, because there was one time we had a Simply Asia meal and she had medium, and like medium, it burns my mouth, but I can completely handle it. She had the medium and she was like, oh my God, like this is so hot. Like it's delicious, but holy hell, I'm dying. Okay. So this is like a few months ago. We had Simply Asia, I think we've had like a couple times in the past week or two, well, the past few weeks. And she's like, maybe I have the medium. And I look at her, I'm like, do you remember what medium did you last time? Do you remember the pain you went through?
But
like, yeah, it was delicious. I'm like, okay.
It's exactly it. Like I've ordered from this place so many times. You know, they do the mild, medium, hot thing, and I'm always like medium, and the medium's great. It's like not super spicy, it's tasty. I don't know. Yesterday I was like, I'm gonna try hot, and literally the first bite in, I was like, this was a mistake.
Shani's not here. I'm gonna live a little. I'm gonna go with hot.
I think I drank about half a liter of milk.
Oh my goodness, your poor tummy.
Yeah, my poor stomach. It was real fucked up. And on top of it, I was watching finally watching that Mortal Kombat movie while eating. Man, that movie fucking sucks. Oh my God. That movie's so bad. Like
what burnt
cheesy,
more, the food
bad.
Or the bad acting?
Oh, there are some lines there that they're literally like, man, all these terminologies from the games, you've got to get them into the movie somehow, even though they don't make sense. Like, fuck.
Amazing.
Like Liu Kang kills someone and he's like, flawless victory. He's like, who are you talking to? There's no one here. Like, God, it's so dumb.
Amazing. I love it. I also need to watch it.
Although the fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, pretty good.
It's a good time.
Yeah,
nice.
Pretty good. Scorpion is like the best part of that film, and he's in it for maybe like 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's sad. Sad face.
It is quite sad. But yeah, that's been episode 155 of Checkpoint Chat. As always, if you've listened this far in, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. I know for a fact that Brad and Kat watched the video episode, so thank you.
You've got to upgrade your video camera for them, man. They asked.
Listen.
Oh, no. Kat asked, you said no. Brad asked, like, of course.
If they want to pay 15,000 Rand for a good DSLR, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no. I don't know if it's the wisest investment on their end, but I won't say no. You know, I'll come to the party. I'll buy the Elgato camera.
Oh,
you can buy the camera. Yeah.
Good Lord, Jeff. If they're both listening, just give us a like and a comment. Let's see them. Let's see those bands in the comments below.
The bands, yes.
The bands.
Share with us whether you do hiccups or sneezing, or whether you think cello's bad at Trackmania.
Or both.
Or both.
Just all of them.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Exactly.
It's been episode 155 of Checkpoint Chat. Thank you so much for listening. As always, we'll be back next week.
Huzzah. Goodbye.
Goodbye.